Y estamos aquí, vamos a reaccionar al showcast, al gameplay showcast 2 de Hogwarts Legacy. Entonces, ay, perdón, es que me he despertado hoy con mocos. Aquí estoy. Así que, ay, los ajustes. Así que nada, vamos a ver qué nos depara. Lo vamos a ver lento y tranquilamente. Se escucha bien, habíamos dicho. Todo perfecto. Voy a bajar un poco el audio del juego porque creo que se oye muy alto. A ver, juego. Porque creo que se oye muy alto. A ver, juego. Vale, sí. Perfecto. Discúlpenme. Bueno, esto es lo que vimos ya, ¿no? Voy a estar por aquí con el ratón por si tengo que parar algo, tal. Esto lo vimos ya anteriormente.
Hey everybody, welcome to the
Por cierto, lo he puesto aquí arriba porque creo que es donde menos va a molestar, ¿vale? Lo iré cambiando si es necesario.
Hogwarts Legacy Gameplay Showcase. I'm Chandler Wood, Community Manager here at Avalanche Software, and I'm honored to introduce you to our panel today.
Vale.
First up, we have
hoy hay otra
guest
persona
host,
diferente, Ben Snow.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Thank you so much for having me.
And from the Avalanche team, we have
Madre
Game
mía,
Director Alan
le va a dar un
Fitz,
infarto,
and Systems Designer Mackenzie Toner.
Hi.
And finally, just off-screen capturing gameplay for us, Andrew Coram.
Mírale. Ay, se parece un hámster.
Taste of the open world via broom flight, a deeper look at combat using the Dark Arts Battle Arena.
Vale, vamos a ver. Uy, no me he enterado, perdón, ¿eh? Estaba distraída.
Just off-screen capturing
Es que este
gameplay
señor
for
aquí,
us, Andrew
escúchame.
Coram.
Mírale.
Today we'll be giving you a taste of the open world via
El
broom
mundo
flight,
abierto viajando en
a deeper
escoba
look at
en la
combat
arena de
using the
batalla de
Dark
las
Arts
artes
Battle Arena,
oscuras.
and a look at
Y
your
tenemos la sala de los
personalizable
menesteres,
home within Hogwarts,
vuestro
the rooms
hogar,
requirement, where we may even see some
donde
beasts.
quizá veamos algunos animales.
And we're starting right where
Vale.
we left off in our last gameplay showcase, just outside Hogwarts, which I love that you can walk out of the castle
Perdón.
after walking through everything, and then just come out here and take off on your broom out into the open world.
Podría estar en español, también te digo, ¿eh?
And Alan, I know that's something that you particularly like about Hogwarts Legacy too.
Es que el mapa es enorme, ¿eh?
I'm a big fan of just being able to hop on the broom and go anywhere. There's something about kind of like
Cuando
the
juguéis
sensation
sentiréis que todo
of
es
everything being
accesible para
open to you.
vosotros. Mira, esta es la cabaña de Hagrid, ¿no?
And just,
Vale,
I love
se saca la chisma.
the proximity that I can get to things. I love flying close to the ground. And I kind of wanted to talk about it just because I feel like, you know, the brooms are fun for me, not just because of all those feelings of exhilaration, but because they're not just...
Parece que el agua está bien hecha en un principio.
Broom and it's
Ya
done.
veremos más adelante.
Actually,
Hay cositas, ¿vale? Esto es como para que interactúes, digo yo. Es que las cabañas estas son preciosas. No sé dónde ponerlo.
kind of like some of the mechanics in it. So you see in the lower right, there's a meter there, and occasionally as Andrew's kind of flying up or flying down, you might notice it draining or not. And this isn't the present day where all the broom technology is well known and advanced and everything that we know and love. This is an earlier time where they're still trying to figure out, you know, we're not at the 3000 yet, we're at the
Sino por la 11. A ver, tiene sentido, ¿no?
we're at the 11. So.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so speechless right now because this is just so beautiful.
Es que es
The world is just
precioso.
By the way, the broom, is that like the only
Importante pregunta. ¿Esa escoba es la única que hay?
one, or can you like
¿O podremos darle un toque más personalizado?
Yeah, so we have,
Hay una parada en
shop in
Hogsmeade,
Hogsmeade.
una tienda de escobas. Me voy a desmayar. Voy a beber agua.
And so that
Allí venden
sells
una
a
gran
variety of different
selección de
brooms.
escobas.
And it was important to
Para
us
vosotros
that
en
the player
especial,
could
que el jugador
customize
pudiese
themselves based
personalizar.
on their own aesthetic. So they're purely cosmetic, But if you talk to the shopkeep and help him out, he'll actually sell upgrades.
Te vendrán
Yeah, those-
mejoras. Bueno, me estoy enamorando. Voy a darle un poquito para atrás porque, claro, estoy leyendo, pero quiero ver el paisaje también.
And so that sells
Y
a
no me entero.
variety of different brooms. And it was
Pero me
important to
encanta, es
us
como que
that the player
giras.
could customize themselves based on their own aesthetic.
No
So
sé,
they're
es
purely
muy-
cosmetic, but
hay
if you
un
talk to the shopkeep
punto de estos de
and help him out,
teletransporte.
he'll actually sell upgrades.
Yeah, and those upgrades will make it so that where normally
forma que
in the broom, you
normalmente
can only fly,
solo podéis ir a toda
you can
velocidad
only go
mientras
at
el
max
medidor de
speed.
turbo
It's
de
called the
abajo esté
turbo meter
lleno.
down there. You can only
¿Vale?
go at max speed without
Solo podéis
the
ir-
meter
uy.
going down, kind of closer to the ground.
Si vais
And if you
pegados al
raise
suelo,
into
si
the
os
air,
eleváis
you'll
a
notice the meter
el medidor
drop.
se vaciará.
And so those upgrades will allow you to
Y
increase
necesitaréis
that
las mejoras
distance
para
from the
aumentar la
ground,
distancia con
and
respecto al
the
suelo.
broom owner
Ah, o sea que si estás abajo, el medidor de, en plan, para ir rápido, se va a llenar. Pero si subes, se va a vaciar. Entonces las mejoras son para que no se
at the
vacíe.
sporting goods store in Hogsmeade is trying to perfect the broom and get better at it.
No sé qué quieren conseguir con eso, en realidad, pero bueno, cuando juguemos ya lo veremos. Yo creo que nada, pero bueno.
And know it
Cada
better, and you can
uno-
participate that and get better and better brooms through that.
And I love that
Bueno, sí, supongo que es para las carreras, ¿no? Porque claro, si las carreras son por arriba, no vas a tener tantas posibilidades de llenar el medidor, ¿no? O algo así.
mechanic
Intenta
encourages you
explorar el
to
mundo.
actually explore the
También
world
es
and
otra de
stay close to the
cosas.
ground. It's not just a travel mechanic, point A to point B. You're not just flying high over everything, although it is beautiful, something I really love doing, but as well, there's lots to explore on the ground, and so kind of keeping you down at the ground level.
And to me, it
is
feels like
nice.
it's got this kind of surfing vibe over the.
Oh
over
my
the
god, like I'm just like I want to snatch the controller from Andrew right now because I want to go to the mountaintop, I'm going to the forest and to that hamlet or I don't know if that's how it's called. I think that's
Mira, mira qué bonito el puente este. Es que es precioso. Es que este juego es muy bonito.
No, it's awesome. We're gonna.
La sombra.
actually
Bueno,
land here.
importante que se vea
I
esa
feel like-
sombra.
I feel like that you call it a hamlet is just perfect, just because that's what we refer to it as. And so, we all know from lore that Hogsmeade is the only all wizarding village within Britain. But we wanted other opportunities to kind of meet other
Anda, mira qué
characters out
guay.
here and to kind of populate the landscape. So it's not
Vale, sí, han animado mucho el mundo. Se han puesto muchos NPCs y muchas cosas. Me gusta.
just kind of, barren as you leave out this direction and that direction. And so we just imagine these
Me
different
gusta.
dwellings, these different smaller locations that wizards might live in out in the Scottish Highlands. And so it's
Oh, le
those,
puedo dar dinero, qué guay.
and so we refer to those as hamlets, and they're opportunities to learn those wizard stories, how those different locations
gusta.
have kind of like learned to live, what their relationships are with characters at Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. And so they're both quest opportunities out here and a chance to kind of get to know more of the area, even beyond Hogwarts and Hogsmeade that we've already experienced. And you'll also notice on the mini-map, like lots of little icons.
Muchos
and each one of
iconos,
those
sí.
represents gameplay in the hamlets that you can participate in.
Hostia, mira qué guay. En plan, no sabes a dónde tienes que ir, pero está guay, ¿vale?
Whether it's a vendor or different puzzles, and
Desafíos,
challenges,
me
or
gusta.
different secrets that exist.
Sí que hay un poco de todo, no es solo lo mismo constantemente.
Each one of those icons are different opportunities
Que
for
no se te va a
gameplay.
hacer repetitivo,
And
vamos.
you'll notice that same thing as we venture out into the open world as well.
Es que está todo como muy animado, o sea, como muy bien ambientado, que se nota que tienes la sensación de que no estás solo en el mundo, ¿sabes? No estás ahí solo con por ejemplo, la chica está en la tienda y tú, y ya no hay nadie más. Tienes la sensación de que hay más gente alrededor y tal, está chulo, está chulo.
So when you go out into the open world and you see those icons, whether they're on the mini map or on your map or off in the distance, those things
La misión es por aquí.
are opportunities to say, like, I want to
Aumentar la
increase
capacidad
my
de
inventory
inventario.
capacity.
Eso está muy bien porque obliga a la gente a hacer eso, o si no, no tienes inventario, te jodes. Así juegas el juego como tienes que jugarlo.
There are puzzles left behind by
Propuestos
old wizards, that you can solve.
por
that
antiguos
actually
magos
grant
y que
you
encontraréis
those.
en las ruinas
If
que
you
veréis.
see ruins off in the distance and you visit them, you might find opportunities to actually expand and learn about your ancient magic. And as you kind of encounter different enemies dotted on the landscape, sometimes those characters, poachers or dark wizards,
Furtivos
might be
les llaman.
hoarding different,
Mira, aquí hay un secreto.
magical
Se ha tomado la
resources that are
cerveza,
valuable to you as you're playing the game. So each one has kind of like a way to connect to our gameplay loops and provide
Ya te
different
puedes sentar.
opportunities.
Esta no es la terracita esta que salía en un ASMR. Creo que sí, es esta,
that
porque
just
estaba
kind
aquí
of
el
rewards you
río.
for poking around it.
I mean, I right away want to just cover all of those points on the map just by going over there.
Well, we've flown on a broom already, but there is something that we haven't done so far, and that is
A
getting on our
lomos de
flying
nuestra
mount.
montura
We're
voladora.
gonna
Esto
hop
lo he
on our
visto, me he
Onyx
spoileado,
hippogriff
¿vale?
here. The Onyx hippogriff is our pre-order
Yo he flipado.
bonus.
Oh my god, there's just like
Porque está chulo esto, pero sinceramente me hubiese gustado más tipo que lo llamases con la varita. A mí personalmente, luego ya cada uno, que está muy chulo, pero no sé por qué, no sé, a lo mejor es porque es como muy de las películas de Newt Scamander y esas cosas y no soy muy fan de ellas, me gustan, pero no, entonces me hubiese gustado tipo más con la varita, porque si te das cuenta en Harry Potter estas cosas no se usan. Aunque sí que es verdad que con Newt Scamander es antes de Harry Potter y lo usaban más, pero no sé.
pops out of the back.
No me termina, o sea, está muy chulo, pero a mí personalmente, para mi gusto, no me termina de convencer. Eso ya es gusto mío, ¿eh? No es que
Oh, wait,
sea
you can use it as a
peor o
horsey?
mejor.
I mean, a horse. I mean, that is a horse.
Yeah, as a hippogriff, you can totally ride it like a ground mount, and you can lift off into the air. And
Es que,
we tried to make sure that
¿cómo sale volando?
each of those interactions.
Lo
so the
han
groom's
hecho
really
muy
good
bien
at
la
reaching that
animación,
top
tipo...
speed, at kind of traveling the world as quickly as possible. But sometimes it's really nice to get on the hippogriff because of that ground speed or those transitions. And sometimes it just feels amazing just to be riding around on a hippogriff.
Sí, bueno, está diciendo básicamente que por el suelo a veces corre más que volando, pero que puedes hacerlo si te hace ilusión, pues volar por ahí, darte una vuelta, yo qué sé, ver un poco el mundo.
It really is kind of like, I don't know, it's a great feeling being on it. And it's a great feeling managing those transitions, kind of going from run to fly and just being able to go wherever you want. And we tried to make sure that each one of these things that you can interact with have a unique identity and a reason for being.
And oh my god, like I see like different like areas, like a swampy area. But like, can you go
Uy, mira cómo
to
para.
like entire map anywhere you
Un
go?
poco
There are
raro, ¿eh?
regions that are like
Que pare así,
Yeah,
pero bueno.
as soon as there's kind of a moment where the world kind of opens up to you outside of Hogwarts as a student, and right from that moment, early on in the game, you can go wherever you want. And so
Vale, básicamente con lo que nos acaba de decir es que primero tendrás que hacer unas cosas dentro del castillo para poder salir fuera y que luego, después de hacer otras X cosas, podrás ya estar abierto al mundo. Básicamente tendrás que hacer el tutorial y cositas de estas y luego ya podrás hacer lo que te dé la gana, como en todos los juegos de mundo abierto, vamos.
you might find more difficult challenges in different areas, and you'll see different spots as Andrew's moving around, like you mentioned, the swamp. But we have got like a coast.
Además, como está ambientado el pantano, luego sales del pantano y tienes como otra zona diferente, está muy bien.
And we've got different types of environments out in the world just to kind of pepper your experience, reward you for exploring, keep things fresh. All those things exist as we're moving around.
so cool. And I love that windmill. It's like so rustic. Like I keep forgetting that this is like 1800s. The Wizarding World we've never really seen before. Like it feels so authentic. Like it's part of it.
Yeah, I love this vista too, and
Ahí se ha visto el ala
I'm
como un
gonna have
poco
Andrew
raro,
stop
se ve como
here. We're gonna use a bit of
amarillento,
dev magic
extraño,
to,
pero bueno.
change the seasons. Actually, I want you to see what this world looks like, covered in snow.
Les van a enseñar cuando está cubierto de nieve. Me da un
Yes,
infarto.
yes, please.
Infarto.
I love snow.
Un infarto. ¿Qué está pasando?
Maybe.
A mí me preocupa esto, ¿eh? Madre mía. Sí es verdad que a mí me gusta mucho más el otoño.
Oh my god, it changes the
Otoño
landscape, like,
e invierno,
completely.
pero está
Oh
muy
my
bien.
god, does it have like actual like gameplay impact, like impact on the gameplay, or does it like it's just the weather of Scotland?
Yeah, we really use it as a narrative marker through the game.
Sí, vamos, que básicamente tú empiezas el curso en una estación y según avanzas con la historia principal va cambiando, pero solo si avanzas con la historia principal. Si no, pues hasta que no avanzas en la historia principal no cambia de estación.
So as you're progressing through your main storyline, it was important for us to kind of like have those moments that kind of felt like when you're reading the books or watching the movies where, you know, you'll see kind of like the title card winter and now the landscape has changed and you're really feeling that passage of time while you're a student, you know, going through your year at Hogwarts. And I think we wanted to duplicate that. And for me, it's really fun that it's not just on the outside, which I agree. I think it looked really beautiful. But within the school as well. So there are moments like when it reaches certain holidays or things like that, where Hogsmeade reacts to holidays.
Vale, básicamente que en esos cambios de estación cambia el colegio, no solo la nieve de fuera.
And the school reacts to holidays, and you see the decorations around those environments change. That really helped just kind of make me feel like I'm there. Right. Yeah. And it's not just you know, for the seasons, those kind of vibe things. Like we have a day-night cycle, and that day-night cycle, even though similarly, like it's largely about vibe. When you go into Hogsmeade in the evening, there's less characters there. Around school, you notice it kind of dies down and quiets down. Just when there's just candlelight and students kind of like as you're walking through the halls. But in that day-night cycle is where we kind of
nos ha permitido colocar algunos objetos que podéis recoger o no, o interactuar con ellos o no, dependiendo del momento del ciclo día y noche. Sí, por ejemplo, imagino encender una vela, a lo mejor de día no puedes, de noche sí, ese tipo de cosas, ¿no?
And I love Andrew's flying up here, really high up on the hippogriff, and we're just looking at this view of Hogwarts in the distance. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's part of what I love most about flying around in this game, whether it's on a hippogriff or...
Además, creo que volar e ir andando es importante, las dos cosas. Bueno, ir andando, pues en hipogrifo o en escoba, pero por el suelo me refiero. Porque por aquí puede haber cosas, pero si solo vas por abajo te pierdes lo que tienes por arriba. Entonces creo que lo han hecho bastante bien.
No, I mean, you talk about
esas
going
cosas.
anywhere and things that you can see in the distance, and that's one of my... I still can't get over, like, no matter, I play this so much, but I still can't get over the fact that I can see Hogwarts out there, and there's just something beautiful about knowing that all of the things inside of it, the classrooms, the students, the professors, all the places I can go, I can just fly my hippogriff, land in the courtyard, enter the front doors, and just walk, you know, to the library, to class, or to greenhouse, or to my common room, that it's all contiguous and just kind of like one space is still exciting.
Eran bichitos para luchar.
I mean, I'm I'm speechless right now. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's just, oh my God.
As much as we want to spend a lot more time out here just flying around, experiencing the world, I think this is a great opportunity to switch over to combat. And last time we gave you kind of an intro to combat. This time we're going to really go a lot more of a deep
Vale, vamos a ver
dive on,
más en
using the Dark Arts
profundidad
Battle
el
Arena, which is part
combate.
of our deluxe edition. All right, Andrew's got us in the
Ay, esta foto me encanta.
Forbidden Forest, which
Se
is where
encuentra
the
en la
Dark Arts
arena,
Battle
se
Arena
encuentra en el bosque prohibido. Mucha gente decía eso. Y tienen razón, tenían razón.
is, which is part
Deluxe
of
y
the
digital
deluxe,
deluxe.
digital deluxe edition. I love the way that the Dark Arts Battle Arena is
Me
actually
encanta que la arena de batalla hoy,
part of the world. It's
esta
integrated
forma,
into the
en el
world, so
mundo,
your
es una
experience
experiencia
is
más
more
inmersiva
immersive
que
than just
elegir
choosing an
una simple
option
opción. Sí, eso es
from the
verdad.
main menu of the game or something like that.
Reason to go to the Forbidden Forest.
Exactly. Well, there are many reasons to go to the Forbidden Forest, but
Pues
he's
esto me
also
va
wearing
bueno.
the Dark Arts cosmetic set.
Sí,
And,
que este también le tendré
here
yo.
he's pulling out the Thestral, which is
Y
part
la
of that Dark Arts
cestra.
pack from the Deluxe and Digital Deluxe edition. So we're going full
Me
Dark
pica un
Arts
ojo.
here.
That's good. That's what I like going down.
But I like this this battle arena. It is a great place to show off
Se ha metido algo en un ojo.
really combat in a big way because it unlocks some interesting abilities for you and allows you to really play around with combat in a deep way.
And is this like the only arena like this in the game where you can like practice? And
Yeah,
do...
so in the base game we have two
Las
combat
arenas de
arenas normally,
combate.
and so everyone has access to those.
Ay.
And each of the combat arenas are an opportunity to kind of just go through a difficult combat challenge, fight through multiple waves, in order to earn a different cosmetic for your character and add that to your collection. In the case of that's no different than the Dark Arts Battle
Un segundín, ¿eh? Se me ha metido algo y no veo nada. Vale, ya está. Creo. Le doy para atrás, ¿vale? Que no me he enterado.
each of the combat arenas are an opportunity to kind of just go through a difficult combat challenge, fight through multiple waves in order to earn a different cosmetic for your character and add that to your collection. In the case of that's no different than the Dark Arts Battle Arena. That's also true, the combat arena. But one of the things that we're excited about in the Dark Arts Battle Arena that people can do
es que puedes acceder a distintas
is you
habilidades
come in
con
preloaded
antelación.
with different abilities. So the unforgivable curses are something that everyone's going to have access to through the base game and going to be able to earn, and they can make choices in order to kind of like add that to their repertoire, and they can also commit to that down with certain talents and things like that. When you play the Dark Arts Combat Arena, you actually have access to all those things as kind of like a way to test them all. And so it's a chance to kind of like tour and play with the Dark Arts and decide whether or not that is a path that you kind of want to go down. But yeah, everyone has the same ability to explore the Dark Arts. This is just kind of like a way of previewing.
And again, a great place for us to show off combat in general. So I think we're gonna jump in here. Andrew's gonna start
Perdón,
battling, and we
es
can
que me
start
pica.
talking about everything you're seeing on the screen.
¿Se ha metido algo en el
Alright.
ojo? What the fuck? Aquí acabo de usar
Just about to
Avada
right
Kedavra.
away. Oh my god.
We're starting off strong.
Oh my god.
Starting off strong.
Was that Kujio? Oh my
Vale.
god. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that you'll notice right away, like when we used Avada Kedavra, that guy's health bar went from instant to zero.
ese donde
and we
dispara?
really are trying to honor the way Avada Kedavra works in the game, even in some pretty extreme
El
situations.
combate todavía está muy verde, ¿eh?
You'll notice that like
Para mi
the
gusto.
meter takes up a lot longer to
Yeah, a little
kind of
cooldown.
build up as a way to kind of deal with its extreme power, just so that it's still fun to use. And then there's some ways that we'll probably talk about to adjust that. But I don't know. I don't know if there are things on the screen that you just have questions about.
Well, like I see like little blue things popping from
Yeah.
the enemies. Also, before like that sign, well, it's like so in the community we call it the ancient magic sign. I don't know if that's how it's called
Yeah.
in the game.
So the community is astute. So on the development side and in player facing in the game, we reference that as your ancient magic community.
Vale, he visto que cuando estás en una animación no te pueden dar. Me gusta.
So it is ancient magic.
That is, yeah. So as your abilities in the game keep growing and you become exposed to some of the secrets about your own kind of mystery and your own abilities, you start unlocking new powers. So one of those powers, you'll see the R1 button appearing throughout the game. That's an ancient magic throw, we call it, that allows you to kind of like draw an object to you and fling it at an enemy.
Okay.
But whenever you see the R1 or the L1 plus R1 appear over somebody's head, that's an ability to cast a very
Muchos
devastating
estímulos.
and powerful ancient magic spell
Me ha agobiado.
to do a ton of damage against the character.
I see.
And the way that manifests itself depends on the type of enemy that you're fighting. And you'll see a wide variety of enemies in here that are pressuring the player in different ways. You'll notice there's abilities that kind of bubble up under the player as he's fighting that force him to move. And there's different ways that we want the player to kind of move around on the battlefield. And that's actually a good link to...
Sí, es verdad que Avada Kedavra tarda mucho en
As you're
regenerarse.
doing different things in combat, you're Portegoing and you're doing different abilities and you can kind of spec into it with your talents. There are different ways to get that meter to build faster and faster. But one of the most effective base ways to build up that meter fast, that way you can launch these devastating attacks whenever you want to, is to actually perform combos. So you see that combo appearing, and it's almost like your emotions are building up, and then basically that builds up enough that you can attack someone. But as the combo meter builds up, at some point you strike someone and a piece of their magic kind of falls out of them. You'll see the blue orbs in the game world, and there's something that only you can see in the narrative, in the world. And it's another reason to move around on the battlefield. If you can go up and collect those things and suck them in, they give big jumps to that ancient magic meter as we're playing.
We're talking a lot about spells and magic here, but I think there's another huge component of combat, and that is the tools that you can bring to combat as well to kind of change
¿Y tu
the way
vida?
you play. And I
¿Dónde
think
está tu
Mackenzie,
vida?
knows a
Esa es
lot about
esa es
what's
una buena
going on with the
pregunta.
plants and potions.
And so the tools are really interesting because they're basically like a prior investment. So you can bring the potions and the plants that you grow in the Room of Requirement to combat to essentially kind of help you defeat enemies a lot quicker and more efficiently. So some of the tools that you'll see here are like the rock skin potion. So that is something that basically covers your skin in this like rocky material that reduces the incoming damage that you're receiving. So against big enemies, hard-hitting enemies like trolls, that's super helpful.
Oh my god, he's just destroying. The troll just collapsed from one of the cadavers.
Obviously, we have the Wiggenweld potion as well, which increases your health. And then we have the focus potion. So when Alan talks about having to balance Avada Kedavra with a long cooldown, because obviously it's an instant kill, one thing that you could do is brew a focus potion, and that will increase how quickly your cooldowns regain.
Right. Oh my god, there's just so much like.
Vale, esa poción hace algo que no sé lo que es.
The character is doing to the troll right now, like he's just bouncing around the arena. He's like not. And the troll makes him move around.
Pero escúchame, Avada Kedavra está
I
muy,
love that our plants are violent.
muy cheta, ¿eh?
Yes, and so that's like when we're talking
Hola,
about
Ronfai.
almost the setup of the arena. You also have plants that you can fight with, and so we have
Para
things like the
luchar,
venomous
¿vale?
tentacula that you could
O
put
sea,
down.
lo que me gusta del combate es que tienes muchas opciones. Tienes las pociones, tienes las plantas, tienes diferentes hechizos, tanto los oscuros como los que no son oscuros. No sé, me gusta bastante en ese aspecto, pero luego hay otras cosas que no me gustan.
And it acts like a turret, and it just kind of shoots enemies around the battlefield.
Porque puedes hacerlo
That is
como te dé la
so
gana, eso es lo que me
cool. This is
gusta.
like a truly like Hufflepuff way to approach.
Siguiente han dicho que han intentado respetar 100% de la naturaleza de las maldiciones imperdonables. Sí, eso está bien. Sí que es verdad que ya, como he dicho antes, está muy cheto el Avada Kedavra. Yo no sé si iré por la historia mala o por la buena. Yo creo que iré por la buena en un principio. Me va a joder más para el combate, pero no sé yo. Ya veré. A ver qué tal. En un principio y luego si me lo rejuego iré por el lado malo. Pero no lo sé todavía. Tengo dudas.
The battle. Yes.
No, that was super important to us, that there were these like multiple ways, and so you can see there's a ton of different things that you can use. The mandrake.
Sí, pero aún así, cuando ha hecho lo del troll, tenía que luchar contra 2 troles. Ha usado Avada Kedavra con uno, ha esperado hasta un rato dándole, un rato que no ha sido muy largo. O eso a mí se me ha hecho muy corto. Y luego ya ha vuelto a usar Avada Kedavra. O sea, ha sido nada en ese espacio de tiempo. O sea, de aquí aquí. O
Another
sea,
thing I want to call out that we're seeing on the side of the screen here is these dueling feats, which
¿Y este quién
love
es?
because I love anything that
Ah,
prompts
está.
me to play a game in a different way, a unique way. I don't want to get stuck in.
están un poco
my
raros
style,
porque
you know?
lanzan hechizos, pero
And
les lanzan
so
a
this is a
donde.
way to, if you
No
want to
sé.
get stuck in your style, go for it. If you just want to
O es
blast
que son
people,
aliados,
go
los-
for it.
no-
But
no
we
entiendo.
also want to have some.
¿Dónde están los
things over here that
subtítulos?
may
Aquí.
make you use certain plants or certain potions or block more or.
Yeah, we mentioned the field guide challenges in the prior stream, and the field guide challenges. This is the way that the field guide manifests like challenges for you to do in combat. And exactly.
Ah,
to
a
your
lo mejor ha
point,
usado esa, puede
we found
ser.
a way to encourage players
Que ha usado una
to-
poción,
to explore
pero no me he enterado
different
cuál era.
systems to help them decide to just kind of practice with them and explore what they want to do, because there really are so many different ways that you can push talents. When you see the green X's on characters,
That's right.
and that's kind of through your talents you can unlock this kind of cursing mechanic that sort of like links.
Es que no puedo leer y ver el gameplay a la vez.
That way, as you get as you're cursing different characters, they all begin sharing damage, and so we have things like Avada Kedavra, which is the insta-kill, but if you curse everyone before you insta-kill this one guy, they can all drop dead for that kind of ultimate Voldemort fantasy. And so,
Oh my god.
there are dark arts fantasies. There's fantasies about being more of a defense against the dark arts characters, things like that misty step that you see occasionally being used on the battlefield. And we can also spec into our potions and plants to make them more powerful and more efficacious. So
Vale, vale.
it's all
Es que
about
como
which
estoy,
type of player
veo el gameplay, pero luego leo un rato, entonces no me entero de algunas cosas, ¿vale?
you feel like you are,
Que luego
and
luego
you're
me lo
not
veré yo
trapped
tranquilamente.
on the fly or with deliberation, and those are all different options.
Sí, te he
That is
entendido. O
so
sea,
cool,
has
because,
hecho
like,
crucio, pero me
I
imagino
see
que te
so much,
referís a
like,
la
going
Maldición
on
Imperio.
Sims, so much complexity, and I want to just try it myself, like which style works best. I mean, I feel like it's the dark arts is going to be the easiest route, but
You're
that
our
ancient
audience.
magic, to be honest, feels like much more powerful than just the dark arts.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And speaking of plants and potions, we're going to be putting the dark arts away, put those unforgivable
Aw.
curses away. and heading to the room of requirement, which
Vale,
is
esto me
your
interesa
home within
bastante
Hogwarts,
más que el combate, porque el combate...
personalizable
Uy,
space,
qué mal
that
se ve
actually
de
has some
repente, ¿no? Porque se ve así.
utility as well, where you get to
¿Qué está
brew
pasando?
things and grow things, and also
Se ve raro, ¿verdad? Pero yo creo que no es cosa mía, ¿eh? Es cosa de ellos.
Room of requirement, wearing, we kind of went casual mode on the outfit here, wearing a nice jumper. And I think that's a good jumping off point for the personalization of the space as well. Not just your character and the visuals of your character, but actually this space is a place that you can make your own.
Es que es precioso, es que yo no me canso de decir que este juego es precioso.
Yeah, it was super
Lo
important
siento.
to us that this space really did feel like your reflection as a wizard. So you can change the architecture in here.
What?
Different themes throughout, starkly different themes.
¿Cómo?
To really
Hostia, qué
just
guay.
hammer home that this is yours.
¿En serio? ¿En serio?
This is beautiful. We never
Madre
expected
mía,
it to
es...
be. Oh my God.
Madre mía.
That's the thing, is not only can you change the architecture here, but you can actually conjure little objects into this space, as you can see. So there's like statues that you can do, and ornaments, and tables, and rugs, and just a bunch of
podemos
little
ver
things that really
alfombras.
flesh out the space
Impresionante.
and
Eso
bring
sería
it
muy
to life.
gracioso.
Oh my goodness, because, like,
Mira, ponemos
we had
final
an
súper chulo
idea
y
that
emocionarte,
those
llegar a la
places where
zona.
you brew stuff,
Ya,
that's where you can change, but
sí.
you can do all of this.
Claro, es
Where
que
do
está
you
un poco
even get this
demasiado
stuff?
cheto,
Like,
¿no?
there's a
Entonces,
furniture store?
Yeah,
no
so we
sé,
call them
no,
conjurations.
ese
And
hechizo
the
yo creo que debería de tener
conjuration can be purchased
como
at Tomes and Scrolls in Hogsmeade.
X, ¿sabes?
But also
Tipo,
as you engage in
si
different
lo
types of
bloqueo,
gameplay throughout the world,
no,
you'll be
otra vez.
rewarded.
No. ¿Por qué? No, se cayó. ¿Qué está pasando? No es cosa mía, ¿eh? Si a mí me va bien. ¿Ahora? ¿Ya? ¿No? ¿Ya? Vale, es que me salía, no sé, me salía como que iba bien. Que a mí me iba bien. Me salía en verde el OBS y aquí igual. No sé, muy raro. Hostia, una silla morada. Voy a poner todo morado, lo sabéis, ¿verdad? No, lo voy a poner todo
different
morado.
objects.
XD.
That's so cool.
No sé por qué pasa eso, ¿vale? A
You
veces
can
no lo
change the
entiendo.
color, you can change the size of it, and
Uy,
you can
la
place
puedes
it
hacer
basically
chiquita.
anywhere.
Oh my God, it's so tiny.
Impresionante.
It's like for baby Niffler.
No, impresionante.
And I love how the system too is designed. It's not mechanical; it's immersive, and so you get the magical effect of conjuring it in, and you're actually doing this in the world as your character. But
Hostia, pero que
the way
tiene
you
aquí
blend,
como para subir. ¡Hala, qué guay!
like that gameplay with.
¿Qué plataforma juegas? PlayStation 5 normalmente, pero también PC y Play 4.
the
Pero
immersive,
normalmente la Play 5
design of
y
personalizing
PC, no sé,
it.
God,
a
like,
veces
and I
PC.
love the animation, how it like appears.
Soy más de
you know,
Play.
like it's not just like there. It's
consola.
like it almost like it apparates.
Míralo,
It is really
es que
quite
es
beautiful. And that was the
impresionante.
thing, is we wanted that to look really nice, because the magic in the wizarding world is everywhere. It's physical, it's kinetic, and it's whimsical. We really wanted to nail that whimsy in this space. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is that not only can you like conjure things and you can change their look, but you can do that with the utility objects as well. So you can see that we have planting pots and potion stations, and you can change the look of those
Madre mía. Uy.
as well. And
¿Qué ha
these are the
cambiado?
areas where, as we had mentioned previously, you'll be growing your plants, you'll be brewing your potions.
Right.
So while you're also doing these like kind of nurturing based activities, this
Vale,
is
lo puedo
also the
poner
space,
como me dé la
where
gana
you
y
would
donde me
bring
dé la
your
gana.
gear to be identified and gear to have like rates put on it, which I believe Alan can talk to.
Oh.
Yeah, we keep bringing up appearance and how it looks, and on a, like in the game you can look like anything you want to whenever you want to, but the player will be finding different types of gear that we call it.
Me gusta.
As you
Me molesta que tendré que esperar un año por la misión de la tienda. Porque no eres de Play, ¿verdad? No tienes ni Play 4 siquiera.
progress through the game, and essentially we just know that clothes.
A ver, es una putada. Pero sí que es verdad que... no sé. Es un juego de Play, principalmente. De PlayStation 5, en serio. Pensé que era exclusivo de Play 4, o sea, de PlayStation y ya. No sé por qué. Pues eso sí que lo veo un poco peor. Pero bueno, a ver, sí que es verdad que hay juegos que son exclusivos de PS5 y te tienes que joder y aguantar. Pero bueno, piensa que aunque te tengas que esperar un año, la vas a tener. Porque podrían decir, no, solo la tienen los de PlayStation 5 y a tomar por culo. Quitando el lado malo, yo juego en PC. Me es que me es más fácil streamear. Perdón. Streamear si juego en la Play. Y también porque, ¿para qué voy a jugar en PC si voy a usar mando? Quiero decir. Si fuese un juego tipo shooter, pegar tiros, etcétera, sí, mejor con teclado, ¿vale? Pero este estilo de juegos, yo personalmente, claro, me es más fácil con mando. Entonces es tontería cogerlo en PC para jugar con mando. Un mando de PS5, en serio. Si lo vas a ver exactamente igual. O sea, ¿qué es esto?
Whenever you get a new piece of gear, you don't necessarily know exactly what it does. And so there is a station inside of the room of requirement that you can conjure. It's one of the first things you conjure, called an identification station, where you can actually bring that gear that you're uncertain about and learn what its abilities are.
Right, yeah, that's so cool.
And then as the space advances even further, and the space will eventually grow its own rooms, and you're going to get new recipes, you know, like Mackenzie's talking about, all these different things keep expanding. And as it expands, eventually you're going to earn what we see here, which is called a loom. And when you set up a loom, it's an ability to essentially customize exactly which magical properties are on your gear and take any piece of gear and adjust its properties and to tweak what it does. And I mentioned earlier that you can make anything look like anything. The collection of appearances, we call it, or cosmetics, we've been referring to it in this stream. Those types of things you can use, and you can apply a look to any other look. So if you get a piece of gear, you put it on, you look like that, but you can change it to look like whatever you want.
That's so cool. And like you can just put some ability to this sweater, but then you can just swap that ability.
Vale,
Yep. And
entiendo.
Appearances you can edit whenever you want.
Vale, o sea, no es fija, no es como en algunos, ¿sabes? Que dices, la pones y no la puedes quitar ya. O sea, si la quitas la destruyes. Aquí la puedes poner, quitar, volver a poner cuando quieras. Sí, bueno, pero es más cómodo para mí en general. O sea, porque conectar el mando y no sé qué, no sé cuál. Aquí le doy y se conecta a tomar por culo. Y lo tengo, o sea. De hecho, en PlayStation 5 se ve de puta madre, no necesito que se vea mejor, sinceramente. Luego da problemas, además. Porque el ordenador es bueno, pero el juego tira demasiado. Y aunque sea un ordenador de puta madre y tire demasiado, el ordenador falla y me toca los cojones. Play, de toda la vida. Y ya está.
I'm just seeing that they're just like pumpkin fur, mooncalf fur. Where does that come from?
Yeah, and so you'll notice that the ingredients that are used to add traits.
De hecho, los juegos tienen más bugs en PC que en las Plays, por lo general.
And to upgrade your gear are based around beasts.
Por lo general,
this is
claro.
where we get into the beast care
Hay excepciones,
section,
¿no? Pero
which is inside this vivario. Kind of
a no ser que esté hecho específicamente para ordenador, pero...
And so you can see here we have a couple of beasts out.
Mira, no sé qué es esto.
And a niffler and a neasel.
Díselo a Cyberpunk, ya lo sé, por eso te lo digo.
Oh my god, he's just like a big puppy.
They're so
cuddling.
Y había otro también. Había otro juego que vi que había gente que lo jugaba en PC y tenía problemas porque se le crasheaba el juego y se le petaba y se le iba a la mierda. Y solo era en PC.
That's so cute.
They're adorable, and so part of beast care
Mira,
is petting them as well, but feeding them too. And so once you do those things, that's when they feel safe enough that they'll give you their magical ingredients. So mooncalf fur, niffler fur, etc. That can then be used
En vuestro
in your
equipo.
gear.
That is like so like intuitive because like you know that makes sense because when you touch the animals you get some fur leftovers. That's so. Oh my god.
Yeah, and we really want to hammer home the fact that this is like a home that you're making for them. So in the overland, you can find these beast dens and rescue these beasts. part of doing so is brushing them and feeding them food as well, and to build that relationship with your beasts. In addition to be able to care for beasts, you can actually conjure things in
Vale,
this
yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Aquí hasta qué punto tenemos para explorar?
space as well.
The house, the
Pregunto.
Yeah, right. And so we have like a lot of little ornaments in this area, and a lot of them are purely cosmetic, but they look really cool. Again, it's the personalization of this space.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
goodness, no, this is like, I'm gonna spend 8 hours just designing this whole area
Uy, que lo he parado, perdón.
to personalize. This is like cool, it's like you have this little play area, like a personalized fish tank, so to say, just for the creatures. I love it.
Yeah, no, totally. And there's like a decoration
Ooh.
aspect, but there's
Hay
also,
banquitos.
we were saying inside as well, is there's a utility aspect to it too. So as you progress in the game and you're able to purchase more conjurations, you're able to speed up your process. So one of them, for example, is the food processor, which allows for the beast in the space to automatically get feed, so you don't have to do it manually. And so you're really building the progression for yourself here. In addition, there's also a toy box where you where you can play with your beasts.
¿Qué es esto?
You'll see here, yeah. So you can, there's a bunch of toys in it, and each beast has their own favorite
para
toys.
jugar.
So as you can imagine, the moon calf really likes the moon ball.
Qué guay.
Or the Neasel, as like a little cat, really likes to chase the yarn ball as well.
Right.
And they're super
wow.
cute.
Oh my God.
Watching them. It's so
Oh, y vine a jugar.
And the big thing we really wanted to hammer home is that the world is a dangerous place. And so by going and rescuing these beasts and bringing them back here and caring for them, you're really helping them out. There's
Vale.
in the overland.
Sí,
who
te
want
entiendo,
to
pero
have these beasts in
básicamente
their
por eso
material.
lo prefiero,
So instead,
¿sabes?
you're caring for them. You're giving them a home.
Right. Oh my God, this rap horn is just gigantic. But he looks like my dog. We can make my dog right now for sure.
You could actually name them as well. So like your dog.
Le podemos poner
So
nombre.
getting back into that personalization.
Sí, me he imaginado.
Yeah, we didn't want
Un
you to
poco
just,
más
like, throw
amplia,
in,
¿no? Pero
Oh, here's a graphorn in here.
le podemos
like,
cambiar
this
el
can
nombre,
be
¿en serio?
named,
¿Me lo estás
whatever
diciendo en serio?
Andrew's about to name them.
Impresionante.
It's a good name.
We've
Se llama
created
Bruce.
this really nice space, and you can get additional vivariums, correct? It's a different kind of aesthetics and looks to where you're keeping
Yeah.
your beasts and caring for them.
Progression is a big part of this space as well. So as you progress through the story, you will unlock more vivariums. So as you can see, this one's quite meadow themed, big, open, bright. But there's other ones, say like a swamp that you might encounter. And it's really a visual effect to and more space for your beast.
Oh, so it's like those, so when we're inside the room requirement, there's like on the left, there's that moon
Puedo poner árboles.
glow from
What the
one
fuck?
entrance and then some shrubbery going on in the right. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Ah, oh, you put trees in here too. Oh my goodness.
And another thing with the beast care that I think is great, tying back to this same kind of thing that you did with like the broom, where the broom is not just a method of travel, it's actually
Mira, este juego va a tener más horas de juego, pero no porque la historia tenga muchas horas de juego, sino porque yo le voy a dar horas.
built in and integrated into the
Y lo
world.
podrás montar, sí,
In
es
the
verdad.
same way, like beast care isn't just this added element. You're not just throwing it on top. There's really this like
Uy, ¿y esto qué es?
narrative and integration to
Yeah, everything.
Ah,
connects.
consigues
So,
estas
progressive
cosas, que
missions
estas
or
cosas es para decorar, ¿verdad? Para comprar muebles o decorar o algo así era.
expand the space. As you earn resources, you'll go into Hogsmeade and use them to
Siento que nos
unlock
están
the gameplay
enseñando
there
demasiadas
and
cosas
unlocking
y no me
conjurations
gusta
and different things
tampoco
to play around with.
tanto.
In the open world, it's in those different environments, like the different combat and conflicts and
Que luego cuando me pongo a jugar, lo más seguro digo, ay, puedo hacer esto, qué guay. Y seguro que lo he visto aquí y se me ha olvidado, ¿vale?
camps
tomad
and different
nota.
things like that exist in the overland. Those things are what hold recipes that exist in the loom. So all these things have a way of connecting. Moonstone that you find out in the world is the resource that we use to conjure everything. That's found throughout the world. Forgeables are used for recipes. So really everything's like a cycle and keeps you coming back.
But even with the story that's being told too, I think people know who Poppy is and that she has a particular affinity for beasts.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything we're seeing here, you're going to be venturing out into the world, and this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg, even of kind of like your interactions with beasts in that narrative. So you bringing up Poppy, there are more kind of mysteries to discover and things to discover out in the world that have to do with her and that have to do with caring for beasts. And so different characters.
Pero te la puedes imaginar. O sea, esto será que lo puedes hacer si te da la gana. Te harán como un tutorial, pero a lo mejor o no. Pero lo puedes hacer si te da la gana. Pero no es algo obligatorio. En realidad, es como una mini misión una especie de misión secundaria larga, no sabría cómo decirte. Luego tendrás la misión principal, por el mundo explorarás ¿sabes? Obviamente la misión principal no sabes cómo es, pero esto hay cosas que yo no enseñaría, tipo que se asombren mientras juegan, ¿sabes? No me gusta que enseñen tanto de la jugabilidad en general. Te enseñen todas las opciones de árboles que hay, por ejemplo. Es como, vale, enséñame que se pueden cambiar, pero no me enseñes todas, ¿sabes?
Well, we could spend hours in here, but we're going to have to end the stream now. What do you think about what you've seen today?
I mean, I'm just so blown away by how beautiful it looks. The open
¿Por qué
world
se les ve
is
así?
so
Yo creo que es problema
detailed and there's
suyo,
so many
¿verdad?
things to
Porque
do,
esto
and
se ve de
the
puta madre.
combat, we're gonna spend like 2 weeks or more just breaking it down by pieces. There's just so much.
De hecho, sabemos qué es el combate, sabemos esto qué es, sabemos qué es esto, sabemos qué es esto. Es que yo creo que cuando vaya a jugar no voy a necesitar un tutorial, ¿sabes?
To this world.
Básicamente.
Like, I'm so happy you guys did this overall gameplay.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got more for you to discover and find on your own. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Hogwarts Legacy is available for pre-order now. It releases February 10th with 72-hour early access.
Sí, bueno, yo tengo el acceso. Necesitan
Deluxe
enseñártelo, pero todo no.
Edition.
O sea, quiero
But
decir,
we've got a
pueden
little
decir,
surprise for you.
os enseñamos esta opción,
Bye.
pero hay otras pocas también, yo qué sé, ¿sabes? Pero que no te lo enseñen. A ver, que esto sí que me interesa. Es que las personas están un poco mal hechas también, ¿eh? Eso es otra cosa de las que no me gusta. ¿Qué era eso? Pero bueno, impresionante. Uy. Pues eso. Que no, yo creo que no es necesario enseñar todo lo que han enseñado. Un segundín, que voy a crear... Un segundín, Bueno, me pongo la cam y termino antes, la verdad. Ay. No me voy,